naysayers and to all of those that would like to destroy the future of the greatest country in the world, our message to them is the same as my grandfather's. Them that's going, get on the wagon. Them that ain't, get out of the way.
Herman Cain. Solutions for a better America.
Anytime.
This is your host, Herman Cain. Thank you for joining us because you know we're going to tell you the truth, give you the facts, because we want you to be better informed to help make this a better United States of America. Thank you for joining us. First, a breaking news announcement. Jobs. U.S. private businesses added the most jobs in 3 years last month, a private survey found. A sign that hiring is picking up 7 years after the recession ended. What they didn't say was it's a sign that hiring is picking up after President Trump took office and started sending a positive tone from the top. This is based upon a payroll processor, ADP. That's usually a good indicator. The official numbers will come out tomorrow. And they show that businesses added nearly 300,000 jobs, 100,000 more than the projection originally. That's good news, folks. That's breaking news. If that trend continues and we continue to hit 300,000 plus, that is a great sign for what's happening in this country. So the official numbers will be out tomorrow, but the ADP report, I just had to share it with you because that is exciting. News nugget. American Healthcare Act clarification. There have been a lot of reports. There have been a lot of voices out there talking about the proposal that was put on the table by the Republicans in the House. Some senators have objected. Some members of the House have objected to it. Some say it doesn't go far enough, and a long list of other objections. Here's the bottom line, folks, and I heard Secretary Price do an interview this morning which clarified some things. I heard the majority leader in the House, Kevin McCarthy, do an interview this morning which helped to clarify some things. First, they admit that they did not do a good job of messaging the fact that the repeal, replace bill was going to be in 3 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They admit that. Secondly, they explain why it's in 3 phases. Phase 1 is, as I pointed out yesterday, due to the fact that way you only require 51 votes in the Senate. It's called through reconciliation. That's phase 1. If they had done a complete repeal, which they could have done, then getting a replacement bill would have gotten stalled in the Senate because the Democrats have fought this tooth and nail ever since the idea that they were going to repeal and replace came up. So that's why they're doing it this way. I know we had some callers yesterday who was saying, why don't they just go ahead and just repeal all of it and replace da-da-da? It's not that easy. There are some procedures that they are working through and around. And that's why they're doing it the way they're doing it. And I don't understand why senators are all up in arms of wanting a clean repeal bill. Then you put yourself in a corner and you're not able to get the pain off the backs of the American people because you'll have it repealed, but you'll have nothing that people can turn to in order to fill that void. Phase 2, as Secretary Price pointed out, will be a number of regulatory things that they can do as the Health and Human Services Agency. They're working through those now after phase 1 is passed. Makes all the sense in the world. But too many people are out there yapping about what's wrong with it, and they don't understand, one, what's in it. Number two, they don't understand the process. And number three, they haven't dug deep enough into how they see this thing unfolding. And the more I see it and the more answers I get, the more I like it, folks, personally. And then phase three is where buying insurance across state lines will take place. Why? That's going to require federal legislation. And now some people want to make a big deal out of the fact that even the president didn't know there was going to be three phases and that phase couldn't come until phase three, but it appears as if he's okay with that. And so I'm becoming more and more positive about this whole thing. The more I learn about why they are doing it the way they are doing it and how they are doing it. That's
under the rules of the Senate does not allow us to give a full replacement in one simple vote. So that's the reason why we're going through three different phases.
That was Kevin McCarthy, Majority Leader in the House, explaining that's why we're going through three different phases. Okay? Take a chill pill. News nugget. Apparently, some doctors aren't for it, the new American Health Care Act. It says in this report that all major hospital groups, including the American Hospital Association, the Association of American Medical Colleges, the Catholic Health Association of the United States, and the Children's Hospital Association, came out against the American Health Care Act. Now, be leery of that, folks, and here's why. Most of those same organizations supported Obamacare when it was introduced. Now that Obamacare hadn't worked out the way they thought it was going to work out in terms of it being a boon for them, now they are against this because, as I indicated yesterday, they all redefined their business models. Now the new Republican American Health Care Act will require them to redefine their business models again. They don't want to do it. It's really the bottom line. News nugget. AARP is also coming up with the long list of things that they don't like about the American Health Care Act. Why? They also supported the Unaffordable Care Act when it was introduced. And they were able to skim a little money because of an agreement that they had with the previous administration. Now, there won't be any skimming. And they're going to have to go back and adjust their business model. Even though they're supposed to be an association and all that good stuff, they have a certain way of doing business, and now they got to go back and do it differently than the way they had gotten used to for the last 7 years. David Sertner explains why the AARP is opposing the Republican health insurance plan.
One, it weakens funding for Medicare. Two, it dramatically hikes premiums for those who are not yet eligible. Three, it does nothing to address high drug costs. And fourth, it puts at risk some of our most vulnerable members through caps for Medicaid.
Okay. I guess I have to take these one by one, Shaney B. He says it weakens funding for Medicare. What that means, folks, is that the Unaffordable Care Act forced increases in Medicare on some states that accepted the forced increases. He's calling it weakening. No. How about it puts it back where it was, and then they also going to put the states in charge. But they describe it as it weakens funding for Medicare. Number two, dramatically hikes premium for those who are not yet eligible. That simply is not true. Competition is going to drive prices down because you'll be able to pick the plan that you want, not the one that the government demands that you pick, and as a result, your premiums are going to go down. Number three, it does nothing to address high drug costs. Those will be addressed in phases 2 and 3. If not 2, certainly in 3. They know that needs to be addressed. How are you going to bring down high drug costs? Competition, just like you're planning to bring down the cost of everything else through competition. And 4, he says, it puts at risk some of our most vulnerable members through caps for Medicaid. I smell a rat there, folks. Take a look at that, okay? It does not put that many people at risk. if you look at the real numbers. Okay? If you look at the numbers. So I don't agree with their reasons. I happen to think it all has to do with they supported Obamacare, and now they're trying to help keep a disastrous plan. That doesn't make any sense, folks. Doesn't make any sense. News nugget. Stuck with him. FBI Director James Comey said he plans to serve his entire 10-year term, even as controversy swirls over his attempt to rebuke President Trump's claim that the Obama administration tapped his phones during the election.
You're stuck with me for about another 6.5 years, and so I'd love to be invited back again.
Now, controversy erupted last weekend over Trump tweeting that Obama had tapped his phones at Trump Tower during the election. President Trump offered no evidence of his claim yet. Comey asked the Justice Department to publicly reject the allegation as false. James Comey, FBI director, also says the nation needs a balance between privacy and law enforcement's ability to lawfully access information.
There is no such thing as absolute privacy in America. There is no place in America outside of judicial reach. That's the bargain. And we made that bargain over 2 centuries ago to achieve 2 goals. To achieve the very, very important goal of privacy and to achieve the very important goal of security.
Now, as for FBI Director James Comey, first, if President Trump asks him to step down, he probably would. Because one thing about James Comey that both sides of the aisle have agreed upon over the years, over the last several months, is that he is an honorable man of integrity. The Democrats wanted him to slant things their way. He didn't do that. He tried to present the truth. He tried to work within the system. So it's going to be up to President Trump as to whether or not he stays in his job or whether or not he's going to ask him to step down. It's not the media's call. It's not the Democrats' call. It's not even the Republicans' call. It's the call and the decision of President Trump. When I come back, Nikki Haley's, who is our American UN ambassador, what she's saying about North Korea's missile tests. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
Credible, experienced, engaging. Herman Cain.
He keeps it real.
He gives it to you as it is.
Daily solutions for a better America.
Morning, streamers. Hope you all enjoyed that first section. It was totally not based upon a script, as you could see, but based upon the facts and delivering them in the way that they were delivered. I got here a little late today, but I already knew what I was going to say, and you heard me say it. See you doing Rapid Fire.